Welcome back to a chapter a day. Happy Tuesday. Oh my goodness, there's been so much happening with the time of year and getting things done, etc., etc. Plus, I just came back in from visiting my family, and I have been just trying to get myself back into my routine. So I skipped yesterday, but here I am today. And I finished up chapter 20 on Sunday. So we encountered, um, who was it? Let's see. All of these names. We had Jehoshaphat, I believe. Was it Jehoshaphat? Ahab. Ahab was the king. And he was in cahoots with Ben Hadad. And both of them went out, I believe, to war. And instead of him killing Ben Hadad as he was supposed to, he decided to make an agreement with him, some sort of compact, that Ben Hadad would restore cities that his father had taken from the people of Israel. And Ahab agreed to that. And a prophet came by and told him, using some sort of parable or whatever you might call it, about someone smiting someone, a prophet who asked, and etc. But whatever, he told Ahab that because he let him go, he let Ben-Hadad go, that God would require the life of Ben-Hadad from him, Ahab, and from the people of Israel. So in other words, they would have to pay for Ahab's wrongdoing. So let's see what happens now. Chapter 21. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab king of Samaria. And Ahab spoke unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or, if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbid it me, that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed, and turned away his face, and would eat no bread. Like a spoiled child. This is a grown king. But Jezebel his wife came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? So here's what's happening. The same Ahab is now looking for a piece of land to put his, like a kitchen garden on, I would say, some sort of little garden he wanted to plant. And this man by the name of Naboth had a plot of land close to Ahab's palace. Ahab asked Naboth for it. Naboth said, No, that's my family's land. So Ahab is upset and goes home pouting. So his wife Jezebel is now asking him, What's up? Verse 6, And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letters, saying, Proclaim a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, Thou didst blaspheme God and the king, and then carry him out and stone him that he may die. So you see this wicked woman whom Ahab married, called Jezebel, decides she's going to take the matter into her own hands and set up Naboth. So they was to invite him to a feast. She sent letters to the elders of Israel and said, Have a feast, invite Naboth, and while he is there as the main guest, set up these liars, which are what they'll be, false accusers, to say that Naboth was blaspheming God, and then that's a crime, of course, in Israel. They'll have to take him out and stone him to death. Verse 11. And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles who were the inhabitants in his city, did as Jezebel sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which he had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in two men, children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died. And then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money, for Naboth is not alive but dead. So these foolish elders carried out Jezebel's evil deed by setting up Naboth and lying against him that he blasphemed the God and the king. They stoned him to death. He's dead, and now they send Jezebel word that he's dead, and she tells her husband Ahab, who's like a big silly child, hey, Naboth is dead. Now get up, go get the vineyard. It's yours. Okay? Verse 16. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite and take possession of it. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Arise, go down to meet Ahab king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he is gone down to possess it. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, In the place where dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick thy blood, even thine. And Ahab said to Elijah, Hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord. Oh boy. Ahab and Elijah are always clashing, because God is using Elijah the prophet to bring the news to Ahab when he does something wrong. And Ahab doesn't like that. Okay, so he was looking for Elijah at one time to kill him. So God has sent Elijah again, now that Naboth has allowed his wicked wife Jezebel to do this wickedness to this man, just for his land, for the man's own land. Okay, not that, I mean, you have your own land, go get something and plant your stuff there. You want the man's piece of land. Kill him for it. Very similar to, it seems like these men, these kings, and they just take things into their own hands because they have the power. And today people do it too. Leaders and people who are in positions of authority take advantage of the people under them because they can. It's just wrong. But God doesn't sleep on these things. God does not allow wickedness to go on, and it's not punished. So he sent Elijah again to Ahab. Verse 21. Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and will take away thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, the son of Ahijah, for the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger and made Israel to sin. And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, The dog shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. Him that dieth of Ahab in the city the dog shall eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat. But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. Mercy. She sent to get, just like what David did, with Bathsheba and Nabal, and not Nabal, and Uriah. God knows the wickedness we do. Even if we don't do it ourselves, if we sanction it, we might as well have done it ourselves. If you send someone to kill another man or woman or person, you did it with your own hands. You could say, I didn't do it, you did it. Okay? And this is what's happening here with Ahab. And God is telling him, I'm cutting off your seed. There will not be another male left. And as for you, the dogs will lick your blood just like they in the same place they lick Nahat. That was the man that they killed. Naboth. Same place they killed that they lick Naboth's blood, they will lick your blood, and your wife Jezebel, they will eat, dogs will eat her off the street. Mm-hmm. Okay, verse 26. And he did very abominably in following idols, according to all things as did the Amorites, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. They said there was none wicked like Ahab and his wife Jezebel. Verse 27. And it came to pass when Ahab heard those words that he rent his clothes, put sackcloth upon his flesh, and fasted and lay in sackcloth and went softly. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Seest thou how Ahab humbleth himself before me? Because he humbleth himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his days, but in his son's days will I bring the evil upon his house. I tell you, God is so merciful. Ahab, after he heard what Elijah had to tell him, he started to humble himself, put on sackcloth, rent, did all that stuff to show that he is mourning or sorry or confessing his wrongdoing. And God looked at it. He told Elijah, hey, Ahab is humbling himself before me, so therefore I won't bring the wicked recompense in his day, but I'll bring it in his son's day. I just think that's just God. That's just God. Merciful, forgiving, loving is God. And sometimes I would like to see, revenge taken on these wicked people, but God already told him what will happen to him. My God, have mercy, long suffering, merciful is all I can say about God. So we will see the outcome of Ahab and his wife Jezebel later on, and for Ahab's seed as well, from that pronouncement that God made upon him and his seed. And we are almost to the end of the first book of Kings. As a matter of fact, we have one chapter left. It's going to be a long one, but it's the last one. Amen. That's the end of First Kings chapter 21. And until our next reading, remember, keep listening, because faith comes by hearing God's word. Take care. Bye.